It was a day like any other day in Acme Labs, as the soulless scientists went over to the poor abused mice to see what test subjects had worked.
Let's see, subject 1293 has a form of schizophrenia. Someone thought it'd be funny to pierce the ear we grew on subject 5738, leaving that donation to be fully ruined. Which reminds me, we need to order more mice, and subject 1993 has grown a few tumors, and it's not looking good. Anyways, I'm paying for lunch. What do you guys want?
He said, and then walked out of the door before checking the one mouse they had left. He had a very high IQ, and not only did he understand what they were talking about, but he also knew who that subject was. He quickly went up to the lock of the cage and used the tip of his tail as a key to unlock it. After he undid it, he went over to the unit that held subject 1993, aka Pinky. And what he found was Pinky laying on the floor, looking like he was unconscious. Starting to panic, he got inside and tried to wake him up.
Pinky! Pinky! Pinky, please! Say something!
Oh, Brain, I had the most weirdest dream. I dreamt that there were these monsters, and they were doing horrible things to us.
Hearing Pinky say that broke Brain's heart. He wanted to tell him that it was just a nightmare, and there were no monsters, but he couldn't.
Pinky. That really did happen. What these monsters did to you has made you sick.
Sick?
Yes, and it's nothing bubblegum medicine can cure. There's a way to help you get better, but you've got to trust me, okay?
The tone in his voice scared Pinky a bit. He didn't know what Brain meant. But seeing how serious this must be, he agreed to it. All night long, Brain worked with the ingredients he had to make his own chemo. When the side effects kicked in, like hair loss, Pinky started to cry. His fur was like his crown, and seeing most of it on the floor left him in tears. His friend got a washcloth that the scientists had and wrapped it around Pinky's body to keep him warm, and reminded him that it was only temporary. His fur would grow back. Just trust him. Brain kissed him on the forehead and then went back to work. As the night went on, Brain became more tired, but he couldn't sleep knowing his friend might be put down tomorrow. He had to stay awake, and the only thing that was keeping him up was the leftover coffee the scientists had. It was cold and disgusting, and hard to keep down, but he would do it for Pinky. When it was time to do the surgery, Brain was sweating bullets. I mean, the closest thing to an operation that he ever did was on his inventions, not on a living being. Thoughts were running through his head about the mistakes he could make and how he could let his friend down. It seemed that the only thing he had left was praying. So he took a deep breath, looked up to the ceiling, and said,
God, as a man of science, I know you and I don't see eye to eye on things. But I just need to ask for one thing. Please, guide my hands to help me save my friend's life.
When he looked at the clock, he saw that time was running out, and he had to get started. When the sun came up, he was done. When he heard cars pulling up, he had to hurry up and take Pinky back into his cage. But then he thought, what if, with Pinky still being under anesthesia, they would think he was dead and throw him in the trash? Brain decided that it would be best to put him in his cage. When one of the scientists came in and checked on things, he saw the empty cage.
Hey, Kyle? What happened to one of the mice?
As Brain watched the man walk out the room, he heard someone calling out to him.
Brain?
Pinky, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm still a bit sore, but it's not as bad as before.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, but you should still stay in bed. We have lots to do tomorrow night.
Why, Brain? What are we going to do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try and take over the...
But before he could finish, something in his mind clicked.
You know what? Forget it. Right now, let's just focus on you getting better.
Oh, all right, Brain.
Pinky said, as he went back to sleep, while his friend got started on looking for a cure.